Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovely bodies of light, the seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you all are, especially my third degree chosen people, right? Where my third degree's at. Stand up in this 5D expansion, right? Who in 5D with me? Let me see if you're coming down the block. Like I had someone tell me on the live. I'm up the block. I'm on 5D. I'm on your block right now. Like these cars passing through right now. Are you on the 5D block? All right. Peace, peace. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. As usual, bringing you the love that lights the truth in all ways, in all manifestations. Speaking of manifestations, happy 777, if I want to add another one. Happy 77 portal through the Sirius gateway, within the Sirius gateway, right? Before I go any further, how dare I, how rude of me. I am akilahtextri in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live as usual from none other than 5D, that fifth dimension, right? And as usual, I bring you the news to infuse if you so choose to get on this light grid activation. Remember, if you are not infusing with the light, you may just be getting fried on the grid, right? So I love this blue. I actually turned down my light because I saw the blue. It's such a pretty blue, and for some reason it just says 7 to me. I don't know if like that's the 7 I'm looking for. I'm looking for that beautiful type of blue, right? That sunsetting blue, like the sun is just setting, just gone down, right? So, and I've been in the sun getting my light codes. You know, I would have came out earlier, but I was just soaking up all the light codes that I could get with this 77 portal still within this Sirius gateway. So, things we want to go into is so much. I don't even know it. I'm just going to really have to let Spirit guide before I go into it. If you've made it this far, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. And what is another thing I've been, hit the notification, whatever that does. Y'all know I'm still new to this technology tactic. I don't know what it does. Some people say they get notified, some don't. Oh, is that lightning? Well, I guess that's confirmation. Notify, right? Press that notification button if you want to make sure you get the content as soon as it comes out and be notified, right? For those who are in this local light grid, those of you who are the soul tribers that really infuse with the light, the lighthouse that I share with you all, right? So, happy 7 portal. Let's get into the Sirius gateway. As usual, just in case this is your first time, allow me to introduce myself. I am a energy alchemist. It's so much that I am. It's so much with my I ams. I had to pause. Like, which one want to come through? Because I deal with the energies, the chakras, especially, as you can see. So I am conscious chakra. Anything about energy centers, I'm so on it. And of course, I come through a conscious paradigm, being conscious, of course, but through my consciousness, through my soul's consciousness, and also an energy alchemist above all, because I'm always alchemizing energy in many forms. But with that, anything else that I want to start out with is introducing the portals. That's what I was really starting with. Thank you, Spirit. For those who are not aware, it's like 77 portal. What is this? You may be seeing it on your feed, and it's like, what is this? Like I did a couple years ago when I was seeing 88 Lionsgate everywhere. It's like, what is everybody talking about? And it took me about a year to figure out. Every month there's a portal with the repetitive numbers, right? So you got the 3-3 portal, the 4-4, the 5-5, the 6-6, and now we're at the 7-7. And these portals that I like to remind us, it's not just magical wormholes, right? They are energetic hotspots that we align to and that we create, we the collective consciousness. Those portals are there because that is where the collective consciousness, meaning the mass of people that are still held to the Gregorian calendar. However, there is a new collective consciousness that is emerging and has been emerging for the past couple of years, but it's becoming more prominent. And as such, case in point, like how I have the 5D calendar ready, we are completely coming off of their timeline, right? And I'm not the only one. I've seen maybe about 2 or 3 other calendars. So people are coming off the timeline. So it depends on what you subscribe to. There's no one way. There's no one calendar. And I have to do another live about that because I really want to talk about the control of time, right? No man can control time, right? But we can exist within time. And it is always where the collective consciousness is. So this is like globally the calendar. So there is with these numbers, we find these energetic hotspots. We even find, it's such a GPS. They think they threw us off, but really, if you study the numbers, if you are into numerology and you count the numerological days, you will find, see, I ain't lying, saw that lightning. You will find, as I did last year in the universal year of 7 manifestations, I manifested the true calendar, right? I saw just by following their timelines, there is a pattern that goes by the infinite number of 9. See, I know Spirit taking me, so I don't know why you taking me here, Spirit, but I'm gonna go with it. There is an infinite pattern, right, called the infinite 9. 9 is infinite. It is that's the true magical number, right? There's no number higher than 9, although we can count past 9. It goes 1 through 9 and back again, 1 through 9 and back again, just like the dimensions, 1 through 9 and back again. So there's infinite in that 9. And so when you go by that, I realize by calculating the date every day, just by following along and counting up what that numerological day was, I would call it a code number. And I would go, and I kid you not, in that order, in that pattern, still does to this day, it would go 1 through 9. And then back again, 1 through 9, when you count up all the numbers, right? And so with that said, within a month, there are actually 9 days in a week. And there are 3 of them within every month, right? Just to share that with y'all. We're going to go there another day. But just to highlight to you how when they try to hide the true time from us, the true time reality, it's still written in code. You can't hide, right? There's a GPS system, right? There's like a, what do you call those things when people put a locator? It's like a GPS locator on the truth. The truth can never be hidden or denied, right? It's so amazing. You got to try it. Just check it out for yourself. All right, so I digress. That's just to understand the numbers, the numbering system. It's to understand the calendars, and how the reason why I brought that up is to show that we can't control time, right? Time is, and we exist in the isness of time, right? This is something that we just got to understand. But mankind tries to keep us in a prison of being, blocked in exact time. However, so through this, as they have their calendar, there are these energetic hotspots, portals, and vortexes, right? Vortices, however you may say it. And it's wherever there are repetitive numbers or palindrome numbers, which the palindrome numbers are like numbers that kind of mirror each other, that look like 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? So it's kind of like that mirror effect. So anyhow, that brings us up to speed for those who are not aware of the portals. And as I said, it's not a magical wormhole. It is a hotspot, an energetic hotspot that aligns with what you align with. This is why it's important to do pre-portal work. Pre-portaling work means what have you been doing in your soul work pre the portal. And that determines how you will portal through, what will be given onto you, because the energy matches you where you are. The divine never gives you more than you can bear, and that means for the good or for the bad, right? So even if you're calling for the good, if you got some stuff in the way, it cannot put it on your plate, right? So this is why we have to constantly be excavating our soul, doing our shadow work, and releasing. I am such an advocate for shadow work, an advocate for getting into your soul. I don't want to talk about these spiritual, I'm not a spiritual bypasser. I don't support spiritual bypassing. So if someone asks me a question expecting a spiritual bypassing answer, you're not going to get it. Because I'm going to tell you where you need to go in your soul. Even though I don't like to tell people what they need to do, I can only suggest. But I'm going to suggest through higher authority, through the advice of higher authority, that we got to get into that soul, right? So all of these are opportunities for soul work, including these portals. That's why I love the portals. I'm like, give it to me, son. Give me the information, what we doing, right? And 777 is a number that is about manifestation. So this is about manifesting through, it is about the manifestations through receptivity, right? Being receptive. And it's, remember, this is potent because it is within the Sirius gateway. For those who don't know, that Sirius gateway, I believe I spoke about it maybe 2 videos prior to this, because it starts from 7-3 to 7-7, right? And it's most potent on 7-5. So now we're at the end, right? So the 7-7 portal kind of, it's us exiting out of the Sirius gateway. And it's not quite so exact. What we must always understand is these are the peaks, and where there is something that is happening, 7-3 to 7-7, know that at least 2 or 3 days before that, you will feel some reverberations of that. And at least 2 to 3 days after that, you will still feel the reverberations of that. Right? This is why I always say the moon is most potent 3 days before and 3 days after, which is why I do my workshops in that manner, in that 7-day window of the full moon. So this, even though today 7-7 is the end, we're coming out of we're portaling out of the Sirius gateway. If you are just hearing this, if you haven't done anything yet, no sweat, my pet. No worries, all right? No wahala. All you have to do, you don't got to do a darn thing, but all that you can apply yourself to, if you choose to infuse with that light, is you have the next couple of days, 2 or 3 days, do some portal meditations. It's all over YouTube. Just put in 7-7 portal activation meditations. You'll get a few of them. And just sit with what resonates with you. Let your spirit guide you to what resonates with you. Listen to tones that resonate with you, because it's not, certain tones are not for everybody, but play it and see if it resonates with you. Don't force yourself. If it doesn't, try another one. And one thing also is to, and I'm jumping ahead of myself, I was going to do this at the end to tell you, you know, what you can do. But also you can sit in the sun, which I'm going to talk about later. You can get outside, sit in the sun, get your light codes. This light is still most potent. The sun is still very potent. We're still very close to the summer solstice. And miracle day. So we're still getting so much energy coming through that sun, right? All the charges, and I talked about that already, so I don't want to go too much into that because there's so much information to give on this portal. And there's something to do with the numbers 4. Like it's about receptivity. I want to kind of just sum it up and go into it. But it is about receptivity, right? The 7 is manifestation, or what I call return to completion. And it is a way that we can manifest, right? We can manifest through creativity or receptivity, which are just the masculine, feminine energies, or through the harmony of both. And either way, they're harmonizing. It just depends on how you're using it, right? It's where it's only a disharmony when we superimpose on one more than the other, right? Without calculating the other or utilizing the other. This one is manifesting with receptivity because we need to lead with receptivity. This is what I'm getting. I'm sharing with you as I got it, right? And the receptivity is coming off of the new moon. As I did the video on the new moon, and I was speaking a lot about receptivity. That receptivity from the new moon is the energy that we're carrying out. It's like there's an infusion of energy that is happening, and we are infusing with that infusion of energy as we infuse on the light grid. So, and this helps place us, depending on how you're infusing, it helps to place you on a certain accelerated track. This determines that as you loop through the portal, if you're gonna like hit that shing, you know, that fast acceleration thing. I don't know, those of you who know video games, when you go on that quick slide and it just goes and speeds you up, it could be accelerating you. Oh, this breeze feels good. Thank you, ancestors. The wind. I feel it kind of beckoning me to slow down. Like, okay, slow it down. I know I'm going at like rapid pace. Why am I speeding up? Let's see, this is how we got to go into our thoughts. Because I know I have a meeting later in a few. I do have the detox to detach meeting. And it's going so great. It's really going great. I want to talk about that probably in another video, because this is, you know, we have a lot that I got to share here. But it really is going great. People are seeing how their cravings show them what's really going on in their consciousness. Like, the most beautiful thing today was someone's, you know, highlighting how they really feel lighter and they can feel the expansion of their thoughts. And I said, exactly, this is the purpose. It is this type of work that helps you to expand into 5D. It helps you to expand your consciousness, that will help you to go into the next dimension of your soul self, as well as catching up with the next dimension, with the 5th dimension that the earth is in right now, right? Like I said, just because we all in 5D don't mean everybody. Just because the earth is in 5D, Gaia is in 5D, Kai is in 5D, Jeb is in 5D, right? Whatever you want to call it, right? Urantia is in 5D. However, that doesn't mean everyone else is, right? We got to do our work to catch up, right? So these portals are part of that. So let me get into the downloads there. Y'all know I be having that download information, and this one is quite a bit, so I want to go through it. I got 2 messages, as I said. There was the receptivity, and there was something else that I got out of a dream that I wanted, or a vision, because I wasn't really sleeping. It's one of them sleep visions, like my eyes are closed but I'm not really in a sleep, but that's how the vision came. And it actually correlated with something I dreamed a couple nights ago. So I will share that with you as well. So let's dive in, right? All aboard on the 7/7 portal within the Sirius gateway. So this portal not only closes out the Sirius gateway, it also, ooh, light beam. It also highlights the receptivity of manifestation by the Cancer new moon, as I just mentioned, which is echoing and amplifying the receptivity from the last season of Gemini and Tahuti, right? So when we were in that last season, I mentioned that there was a lot of receptivity coming through. You may have to watch that video to see what was said about that with the new moon in Gemini, but there was a lot of being receptive. It was the season of communication, but it was highlighting to us that as we're communicating, we need to be receptive. And Jupiter was in that. There was a nice stellium. There was a parade of planets, if you guys remember. And there was a nice stellium of a certain amount of planets in that particular house, right? At varying degrees, different angles of light at varying degrees that were highlighting the current situation at that moment. And Jupiter was one of them that was there, which is still there all year. This is the year of Jupiter in Gemini. So this is a year of expanding our communication, and the echo that we're going to be hearing throughout this year is receptivity, because we can all talk a good game, right? We can all tell people things, we can all do that, but how many of us in our communication are truly listening, not just hearing? We all got 2 ears to hear, and we'll go, yeah, I hear you. Listen to people that do that, by the way, because I know when they say, oh, I hear you, I know that means they're not listening. Exactly. You're hearing me. You're not listening. You're not adhering. You're not adding to the hearing, right? You're not listening means being willing to take heed to some of the instructions in that. Not that it's always to tell you what to do, but sometimes the instructions in that it's telling you and instructing to you where this person is coming from, right? So we can have true empathy in our communication. True understanding comes when we empathize, right? A lot of us can't understand because we have no empathy. So when you really listen to another, you gain that empathy that you need, right? Let me not go on a spew about that, but I had to, tap. I had to tap that ass. The 7 is manifestation, right? So the 7 is manifestation, as I mentioned, and we are to be manifesting through the feminine energy or quality of receptivity. It is through our receptivity that we'll find the understanding that brings radical acceptance and change, as symbolized in the number 5 with the new moon that was on the 5th, right? And it was at what, 14 degrees, as I mentioned before, which is 5. 4 and 1 is 5. So we kind of have that confirmation of radical change. 5 is change, and that balance between the physical and spiritual. So there is a balance to be had between the masculine and feminine as the physical spiritual, which requires the feminine to lead with the receptive activity. So it's a balance to be had between them, but within this balance, it's for the feminine aspect to lead, the feminine energy, or the negative charge that is about the receiving. It is to withhold the impulse to want to do something and give and put in, right? So hold back that masculine energy of creativity and creative activity, and simply put forth the maximum effort to be in the receptive activity, which is the feminine energy, right? So this is how we can best manifest, right? Through this channel of infusion of light, we amplify the positive results of manifestations that are aligned with our destined coordinates according to the energetic algorithm. So let me say that again, right? Through this channel of infusion of light, we amplify the positive results of manifestation that are aligned with our destined coordinates according to the energetic algorithms by the harmonic transcendence in our souls. All right, so as you can see, we got to align, align, align. That's what I'm hearing in that, in case that sounds confusing. It's just letting us know that there is this channel of infusion, as I was speaking about. There's an infusion energy happening, and we want to infuse with that, right? So this infusion of light, and it's amplifying for us, right? With this infusion, we will amplify those positive results by being in that receptive activity, right? And then that is when we align with our destined coordinates, whatever your destiny is for you. And our destiny changes by the way we show up, right, on our plane, right? There's destined coordinates. So it's through the harmonic transcendence. How are we transcending? And the harmony, as I said, is allowing the feminine to lead. This is not a gender thing. So whether you're masculine or feminine, this is what it is, right? As we reconnect with our starseed memories, we are filled with our light codes. This is what's happening through the Sirius gateway, by the way. And I mentioned that we're getting our starseed memories. We're getting so much intercommunication that is happening in our sleep, in our visions. Like what I shared with you, what I'm going to share with you later about the vision connecting to the dream. We're filled with our light codes to remember our mission in transit through the light transmissions and angles of light that we are attuned to. So remember about the angles of light. The angles of light are your angels of light. What are you attuned to? So we are being filled with all the light codes that are saying, go this way. It's like when the plane is coming into land and it's like, go this way, go this way. You know, what are you? You are attuned to that. You go that way. You are attuned. This is why we can't watch other people and say, hey, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Right? Even like, just like on YouTube, you will see people talking about 5D. We're talking about it in different ways because we all got pieces to the puzzle. Right? I'm hearing that song in my head now. Why did I say that? I'm hearing Fat Joe. We did it all but put the pieces to the puzzle. And lean back. And lean back, that song. Do the Rockaway. So, and it's clear. We did it all but put the pieces to the puzzle. Nobody wants to put the pieces to the puzzle together, right? Know that each piece is unique. So it's not all the same, but we all have a piece of the message from different places, and there are so many places. Those of us who are star seeds, there are so many stars out there, so there are so many oppositions. There's so many places where we come from, and we attune to different things, right? Different beings, right? So it's like the plane coming in. I get back to say that. So this is through certain light transmissions in our transit, in our mission of transit, because we all came here on a mission, on a soul unfolding mission, right? And to be a part of this particular time in the 5D expansion on this earth at this particular time, especially if you are a light warrior and a light worker, but most importantly, a light warrior. You are here. We are here to be the lighthouse that is a beacon of light that can say, here, this is for you. Each lighthouse is different. This lighthouse is for things that are like-minded unto me. Another lighthouse is for things that are like-minded unto them. They have a beacon of light that attracts the people that need to be in their light, right? And we all have a piece of the puzzle. And then each of you are your own lighthouses in your own domains. All right. So anyway, I digress again. This Sirius gateway portals us through a time and space that by divine will aims to bring us to a total recall through the receptive activity within negative charges of feminine energy, within the negative charge of feminine energy, right? It's just like a battery has a positive and negative charge. So that's all that's saying, that within this gateway portal, it's portaling us in a time and space that is saying by divine will, right? It just aims to bring us to a total recall. That's why we're being reconnected with our starseed memories. We're at a position in a space right now where there needs to be total recall. Come on back. Or for some of us to set us back on track, like to put us in the right direction, where we need to be going, what we need to be doing. This is a reset as well. Remember, according to the new moon, we are within a reset. A reset of the lunar, it's a lunar reset, but even bigger than that, what's it saying to us in our inner world? The moon being lunar, that represents our inner world. It's time for a reset. So during this reset, there's information that is coming. Some of us are, again, leaping timelines through these portals, especially with the Sirius gateway. Some of us are really having another quantum leap, and we're leaping again, and you're yet leaving behind something else, if you're willing to. If you still want to hold on to what the energies are pulling you away from, you're going to be kicking and screaming and fighting and having a resistance with the energies, and so it won't work well for you. It won't bring into fruition that which you are truly wanting to manifest, because you have to let go of something, right? Which is why the receptivity is so important, as it clearly goes on to say here. There is no need to implement, see, there it is right here. There is no need to implement a plan of action, only to be receptive in a willing to release mode that relinquishes the hold of fixed concepts rooted in fear that act as vain imaginations, which distorts our memories and creates perceptions of illusions, right? There's no such thing as illusions. It's only a distortion of memory, because we're all memory complex. So when that memory gets distorted, the memory cells that we are, when it gets distorted, then we have an illusion, the perception of illusion. And that happens because we don't want to relinquish the hold. So I'm going to say that again, and I'm going to say it slow for the people in the back in overflow. All right. There is no need to implement a plan of action, only to be receptive in a willing to release mode that relinquishes the hold of fixed concepts rooted in fear that act as vain imaginations, which distorts our memories and create perceptions of illusions. And there is a lot of people that are still living and holding on to the thread of illusions. And you can be doing all the spiritual stuff in the world, but if you're holding on to that thread of illusion, it is still having a distorted memory, and it's something that needs to let go, that is holding back your flow of manifestations. Right? So how we gonna manifest into this new earth? We got to make it happen. We must detach from vain imaginations in order to truly receive and create through the positive negative charge in life force energy what we are to manifest. So we must detach. Detaching is very important. The word of the moment, the word of the year in every now moment should be detach. Detach. That's an old thought. Detach. Oh, I always did things this way. Really? Detach. These are we got to listen to ourselves. Oh, that's been our family tradition. Really? Detach. Throw it all out. it no longer serves your highest good for the next level that you're going to. It is irrelevant to your 5D existence. You can't carry it with you, right? So this is a transition, and see, I want to talk about that. As I say that, I'm hearing, like, we got to understand this is one of the massive transitions without us having to leave our body to come back and get into the next dimension. We are switching dimensions in this lifetime. So we are having transition after transition. Every time we level up and go to the next level, it is a transition. It is a death to something. We are dying with every transition. The old you, old concepts, old parts of you that have karmic attraction from previous lifetimes, you are getting rid of some of those karmic attractions or the karma trauma that you've come with. Some of us are shedding that karmic fat, right, by getting rid of. So this is a part of that. Detach is a major word as we enter into that next dimension. And these portals, they help you do that, but it is depending upon you, right? So that is the negative positive charge in life force energy. So we create that in order to truly receive and create. Remember, receive is feminine, create is masculine. So in order to truly receive and create, which is the harmony of them both through positive and negative charge in our life force, then this is what we must do in order to manifest. As I said, this is what is going to help us, you know, channel through and allow for that manifestation, right? So also with today being a code 4. Code 4, for those of you who are into numerology, like I said, if you count the numbers in the day, the entire day, the day, the month, the year, the entire year, right? Not just 24, but 2024. When you count all of that, you're going to get the number 22, which reduces to 4. So the code is 4. And why that was irrelevant for me as I was picking up in my transition, sitting outside, there were 4 birds, I believe, flying out. And before that, I happened to catch 444 on the clock in the midst of a conversation. Just tapped the phone. It was like 444. What is this 4 saying? And then when I sat outside in meditation, saw the 4 birds flying over twice I saw it. Always pay attention to things that are repeated to you. It's for a reason. And then as I wrote out the date, I was like, code 4. So code 4. What does that mean? 4 is foundational balance. So with a day being a code 4, we're being guided, right? We're being guided through the order of foundational balance. So the foundational balance is kind of guiding us through this and into this, which requires us to find the harmony within the stability of the 4 corners as the 4 directions of the 4 elements. Again, I refer to the video I did about elements equals directions, when I said the elements are directions. So the 4 elements are the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. So you'd have to go back and watch that video to get the intel on that. But as I said, it's requiring us to find this harmony within these 4 corners that operate as the 4 directions of the 4 elements. So the 4 elements, pay attention to the 4 elements that you're seeing, because they're giving you directions. It may be coming up in dreams. It may be coming up in repetitive themes. Pay attention to what elements are coming up for you. If you're into astrology, pay attention to what the elements are telling you per your birth chart, also per the current chart, the current today chart, right? Day-to-date chart. So that's something to look in. Also, yep, directions and elements. Okay, we are to utilize the 4 corners to hold firm while, because remember, 4 corners, they stabilize you. That's why you got 4 legs on a table, like they hold things. When you build something, you usually make 4 corners to stabilize, right? So we're to utilize the 4 corners to hold firm while following directions from the 4 elements. Right? This will lead us in the way of receptivity in which we should apply, in which way we should go, because it's different for everybody. And And the manifest lets you know that the manifestation is here. So when you sit with those directions, you will know that the manifestation is here, right where you are. And so I wrap that up, that part, by saying, within those directions, what I was guided to do in my meditation, and I'm just sharing this with you. You meditate however works for you. If it resonates, it resonates. While you're in meditation, have the 4 elements. Make sure you're somewhere where there are the 4 elements, right? Earth, fire, wind, water. The sun is all the fire you need. So you don't got to go create a bonfire. You don't have to make fire. The sun is the fire. You just have to be in a place where you have earth. Be barefoot on the earth. Allow yourself to, connect with the earth, right? Light an incense or sage, something like that. Like I had my sage, so that was, the effect of the wind. Plus I was literally feeling the wind around me, right? So earth, wind, and I have the sun. The only thing I brought out was a container of water so that I have water. If you go to the beach, you're already with all 4 elements. You don't need to bring a thing. If you go to a park with a lake or a pond, you already have all 4 elements. You don't need to bring a thing. So place yourself with 4 elements around you. If you're in the home, just place yourself within 4 elements, right? Get some water, light some incense, have a candle. The candle would then represent fire. Have a plant. The plant would represent earth, right? And you can just surround yourself with that as you meditate and listen to what comes up for you, right? That's just stabilizing yourself within the 4. So this is just a way to utilize the 4 as foundational balance to guide you through that, right? So that's what I was saying. I think earlier I was saying this is what you can do. So that's to add to what you can do to be in this meditative state, to activate something for you, whether it's DNA activation, light grid activation, but to be in the Sirius gateway activation, so those are things you can do. What I just explained about the 4 corners, the 4 elements, as well as listening to a meditation activation. You can find one, on YouTube somewhere. So those are my advice of how to amplify. I was going to say monopolize, but I don't really like the word monopoly, but in a good way, monopolize this experience of the Sirius gateway, and to gain the best out of how you want to manifest, along with everything I just mentioned about receptivity. And remember, in order to be in true receptivity, we have to be willing to let go. We have to practice detachment in this process. So release something. We're still in the window of the new moon. What is it? Up to tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, up to tomorrow, in the potency of the new moon on the 8th. And even if it's a couple days after that, you're still kind of within that energy. So utilize that, right? With that said, right before I close, 3737 on the dot. I just saw 3737, and there's something about that number 37. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a different video about that. So I'm gonna take that as a hint. Guided spirit, note to self. There's something in the number 3737 that shows you a pattern of the 369 with that infinite number 9 that I was telling you about. Anywho, before I go, this little dream here, this talking about ships being sent out. This is the vision that I had, that I saw me setting a ship or ships, but setting a ship on the water and sending it out. Like it was as simple as that, setting the ship out. And of course I had to meditate with that just throughout the day, not really sitting in a Om meditation, but this is what I call meditation on the move. I keep it in my mind. I keep the meds in my mind and just continue to ask spirit to highlight to me and drop it in when you're ready, right? That's what I call meditation on the move. So we are to be sending ships out. Here's what I got from it. We are to be sending ships out. This is a time to send them out. What do we mean by that? You'll see. So I saw me setting a ship on the water and sending it out. This means that there are relationships that we are to set on the waters. Emotions. Waters represent, metaphysically, waters represent the emotions, right? The emotional body. That's why the sacral chakra, which is the emotional body, the element is water, right? So we're to set out, right? We're to put relationships that we that we are to set on the waters, which is the emotions, and send out or let it go, right? Putting the ship on top of the water denotes having your relationship set on top of our emotions rather than being under the emotions, if you get what I'm saying, right? So it's being on top of your emotions. That's why the ship was set on top. So whatever is happening, whatever kind of relationship, whether love relationship, family, friend, co-worker, relationships affect our emotional body the most, right? So we have to really pay attention to how we're having relationships. And I'm being shown that this is being highlighted for a reason as a part of receptivity. How are we in communication in the relationships? And sometimes it's hard for us to communicate because we're not setting the relationship on top of the water, on top of our emotions. We in our feelings, we under the waters. We all under the waters in the relationship, right? So we have a responsibility to set that on top. And so that's what that denotes, setting your relationship on top rather than being under. It is a time to be evolved. It is a time to be over your emotions and let go. Let go of the fear-based thoughts and feelings that no longer serve our highest good and blocks our receptivity. I believe that's why it's really being highlighted to me now, because it's blocking the receptivity. You won't be receptive if you have these hang-ups, right? These issues, all of these that are fear-based, as I mentioned earlier. This is why we have to let go. Be willing to release the fear-based emotions, right? That act as, you know, these distorted memories that block us. It's like, it's cock blocking. I don't know no other way to say it, right? These things that are happening, it's cock blocking our receptivity. That's why some people say, but how? How do I receive? I thought I was receiving. No, you weren't. You cannot be receiving while still holding on to something. You have to let go so that this hand is open so you can receive, right? A lot of us have our receiving hand closed, right? We got it backwards. Some of us got our receiving hand closed, which that's the left side of your body. And a lot of us got our giving hand open. You can't receive from the giving hand. This is the plus. See, this is what I was talking about with the battery. There's an order. The plus is the masculine, the creative. The plus gives. That is a positive charge. You cannot receive with a positive charge. So it does you no good to have the positive charge hand open, right? And we have our receiving hand closed. The negative charge needs to be open. And so when we're holding on to stuff, whatever it may be, right, we're not allowing ourselves to receive. So that's how I was able to share that with you. How it connects to a dream is this. This was a dream. And I'm not going to go into the dream. I'm just going to give the message out of it. I see this also being connected, as I was saying, to the dream. I'm reading you my notes, actually. This is how I note to myself. It is connected to the dream that I had about coming out of 8 into 6. Just like that. I can't really go into the dream. I just had to say it as it is. Coming out of the 8 into the 6, which is coming out from infinite existence into receptivity. It seems as if some are coming out of an infinite loop of repetition and being sent out or broken out by receptive activity. So it's like, it was showing me how it's the same thing as being in one place, setting the ships on the water and sending it out. It's the similar send out is what I'm getting. So standing at the 8, which is infinite existence, and I found this to be important, so I'm going to share this with you as I close, because we're coming up to the 8-8 Lions Gate next. So what I'm seeing is there's this infinite. The infinity and the infinite loop can be looked at in 2 different ways. Some people are locked in an infinite loop, and I may have to do a different video on this, breaking it down. But some people, I see it's so much information. I be backed up on videos, y'all. Bear with me. Some people are locked in an infinite loop, right? Some people, it's good to be in the infinite existence and understanding the flow of the infinite existence, right? But we have to know when to loop out, right? We have to know when to go from the 8 into the 9, which is spiritual completion. And in that loop, you can see a 6 and a 9. But I don't want to confuse us with talking about the 9. Understanding that there is this loop, and this is the message that I felt was coming through this. Some of us being stuck on the infinite loop need to come out of the loop, and it needs to be sent out or broken out through receptivity. So receptivity is going to be your way out if you can truly grab a handle on the truth of being receptive, and not just saying you're receptive, but being in true receptive activity. That is going to be your way out of the infinite loop that you've been locked into. We are in a universal year 8, so this is extremely important, as I'm seeing that 8, right? The universal year 8 is highlighting either the infinite loop that some are locked into, or it's highlighting for some to pay attention to the repetition, the manifestations, 7, that they have been repeating, 8, in order to get back to their point of balance within perfection, which is 9, the isness of it all, right? I just did 7, 8, 9, right? So the infinite year of 8 is highlighting this infinite loop. How are we existing on the infinite loop in infinite existence? And some of us need to come out of a lock. Case in point, like what I said about the calendars, some of us are locked in, like that Gregorian calendar. Notice we are 8 years behind. Do the math. You do it. I'll talk about it later. But do the math. With the Gregorian calendar, we are 8 years ahead. Excuse me. They put us 8 years ahead of the true time. 2020 was really 2012. So they have us 8 years ahead, and that's done strategically to have us locked in an infinite loop of being lost in time. Whole nother story for a whole nother day, but just to highlight that 8, right? So this is an opportunity to use this 7-7 portal, find what you need to release, get on the flow of receptivity to amplify your manifestation and manifesting, getting out of that infinite loop in the many ways that you can in a positive outcome. And be ready for the 8-8 Lion's Gate. It's like there's something in that. I can feel it. I can sense it. There's something in doing that in a divine time, in a timely manner, of finding your way out. Utilize this opportunity to come out of that infinite loop so you can place yourself on the right track of the infinite existence through creativity, right? So we're doing receptivity right now. Next month, when we at the 8-8 Lion's Gate, I can see that there's going to be a shift more into the creativity, and this is the harmony between the two, right? And I'm going to leave it there. So please enjoy your 7-7 portal within this Sirius gateway that we're closing out. We're portaling out of the Sirius gateway. Portal out, right? Knowing that the manifestations are in receptivity, and that it is about setting ships out. Set your ships out. Put those relationships on top of the emotions and not let it pull you under. And allow that 8 to send out. Allow that 8 to send out the 6 through receptivity. And I'm going to leave it there. I know I gave you enough, a mouthful. So I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you all for those of you who tuned in, who stayed in this far, who's appreciating the information. Remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. Leave some 7-7, numbers. Leave an emoji if you don't have anything, because we want to keep the algorithms going. So leave whatever emojis you can. I'm gonna say some stars to represent the Sirius star. Leave some star emojis with your hearts and whatever you normally use. And also, as a reminder, don't forget your 5D calendars are at a 5D corner near you. The description will be below, or in a previous video if you didn't see it in this one. And the detox to detach, it's not too late to join. So please get in while you can. If you need help releasing, I'm telling you, this detox to detach right now is helping with the theme of detaching. Let it go, let it go. I'm one with the wind, and I receive more, receive more. Y'all gotta see with me. All right, so with that, I love you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out, and be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Peace, love, light. Portal out.